Welcome back, I'm Kyle at Prolux, and in today's video I'm going to be addressing some issues customers are having regarding the Prolux dual brush scrubber. You don't want to miss this, so stay tuned. There have been a few customers that have addressed some issues and concerns about this unit. We got those customers taken care of, we got them a replacement unit, and we got their defective unit sent back to us, and we did some R&D and some testing, and I'm going to share with you guys what we have found out. First main one is the unit will just stop working, and that is due to a safety feature within the unit, and we noticed a few things that actually caused it when we got that unit returned to us. Another one is more, it could be user error, but I want to go over it anyways. That's just when you press the button to stop dispensing water, water keeps dispensing out. I personally have not seen that issue with my time using these, but I want to go over what could be causing that and what you could do to not cause that in the future. So first we're going to start with the unit just not working. There are three things that you're going to want to make sure to check and make sure you're doing properly to make sure that issue does not happen in the future. So we're going to be primarily looking at the clean water or the solution tank and the dirty water tank. So we're going to start off by going over the clean water tank. If you guys are using a cleaner, please make sure you follow the directions and you use the correct water to cleaner solution ratio. If you use too much cleaner, or you're using a cleaner that creates foam, that's going to be one of the culprits for the issue of the unit not turning on. So just make sure you are using the right water to cleaner ratio, and make sure whatever cleaner you're using doesn't foam up quickly. And then the thing we're going to be talking about the most is going to be the dirty water tank. There are a few things you're going to want to check to prevent this from happening. The first thing is overfilling the water tank. If you overfill the water tank, that's going to cause the issue of it not turning on, and I will dig deeper into that. This white plug right here is going to be your peephole to see where the water level is at, and there's also a max fill line on the actual tank. So if you're using this unit, whenever you refill the clean water or solution tank, make sure you empty the dirty water tank to prevent it from overfilling. Alright, so we're looking at the back side of the dirty water tank. You have a blue plug. This is where you can empty the dirty water, or you can empty it from the white plug, whatever your preference is. But there's a white gasket with like a metal filter mesh screen. You want to make sure that you do not let it overfill, because dirty water is going to come out of this filter screen, and it's going to get sucked up from this port right here and then go up into the motor and cause it to get damaged or cause it to shut off as a safety feature. So this is going to be very repetitive. Just want to get my point across. Just periodically check the dirty water tank by removing this plug and taking a peek inside. If you see foam or water, you need to empty it, and you're going to want to make sure you rinse this dirty water tank out to remove all the foam. Because also what could be happening, we've actually recreated this problem, is foam creates moisture, and moisture or foam is going to seep out of this filter screen and actually either get sucked up, or it's going to trip this sensor. I'll zoom in and show you guys in a second where the sensor is. That sensor is a safety precaution, and if it gets wet, it's going to turn the unit off. And if it stays wet or moist, whether that's from water or humidity, it's going to prevent the unit from turning on. So just make sure you are periodically checking the dirty water tank to make sure it's not overfilling. And again, whenever you refill the clean water tank, go ahead and just empty the dirty water tank to be safe. And then you can also see at the bottom of where the dirty water tank sits, it has a bunch of dried up dirt and grime. So this unit was overfilled, and it just went down the side of this fill tube and got everything wet, and it tripped the sensor. So those are going to be the main culprits. Just make sure you're not overfilling the dirty water tank, and if it has a bunch of foam in it, you need to get rid of that foam, or that foam is going to trip this sensor. Alright, so we're looking at where this top port is, that if water gets sucked into, it's going to go straight up to the motor and get it wet. But we're looking at these two screws right here. This is a older model, or newer models. It has a black wire at the bottom of, it's actually going to be like a hex bolt, and then that wire goes up into the motor, and then slightly above the black wire there's a little black block, and that is going to be the sensor. So if that sensor, also put a picture in so you guys can see what I'm talking about. If that sensor gets wet, it's going to trip the motor for it to not turn on. And then I'll show you on the control panel up top what it kind of looks like. So again, very repetitive, but if any water gets on that sensor, it's going to trip the vacuum, and you need to either wait for that sensor to dry completely or go ahead and remove the dirty water tank and wipe the sensor off. You can remove the sensor, but we don't recommend it because again, it is a safety feature. And if you're not paying attention to the dirty water levels and you suck up a bunch of dirty water into the motor, it's going to fry the motor and it could void your warranty. So that is one option, but we highly do not recommend it. So again, just please make sure you're double checking the dirty water tank. There is a max fill line for a reason. Good note, like I've already mentioned, if you need to refill the clean water tank, go ahead and empty out the dirty water tank. All right, so here we are, we're looking at the control panel. I wanna go over what's going to happen if you run into this issue. This issue is primarily going to affect only the suction motor. So if you turn your unit on, the brushes are still going to work along with dispensing water. The only problem is you're gonna see the indicator light for the suction blink. So it's gonna be kind of hard to, notice that when you're using the unit and the brushes and the water's working, but it's not gonna be sucking anything up. And that's because when water gets on that sensor, it trips the suction motor to not work. So if you're using the unit and you start to notice the suction button start to blink, you have an issue. So again, quickly go over what I've repeated many times. Make sure you're using the right water to cleaner ratio. Use a cleaner that doesn't foam easily. If it does foam, you need to rinse out the dirty water tank completely. And also, every time you refill the clean water tank, go ahead and empty out the dirty water tank. You have that plug on the front to see where the water level's at. If water overfills, it's going to get sucked up into the suction motor and cause it not to work, along with any liquid or moisture or humidity getting on that sensor. So that is what we have found out. If you guys do have that issue, please watch this video and take care of the things I mentioned, or you can send us an email at service@proluxcleaners.com. All right, and then the other thing I mentioned was the unit dispensing water, even though you turn the water dispenser button off. We haven't really had many issues with it, but I want to address it now, just as a quick note for you guys in case you overlook this. I don't want to get water all over the carpet, so I'm going to remove the clean water tank. So this button with the water droplet, that is going to be the button that you press to dispense your water or cleaner or water cleaner mixture. It has two settings, so keep that in mind. First time you push it, it's going to be full power. Push it again, it's going to blink, and that's going to cut the dispensing of the liquid in half. So to turn it off completely, press it again so the button is completely off. Again, we've only had one email about that. It hasn't really been an issue, but if you guys are using it, just make sure when you're done dispensing the water, the button is off completely. And another note is there is going to be some leftover water on the actual squeegee blade. Squeegee blade is just going to leave like a tiny amount of water, so just make sure you wipe that up. Or what I've been doing when I've been using this unit is when I'm done cleaning, when I'm done using the water feature, I will keep the suction and the brushes on, and I will just do another quick pass to pick up any leftover excess liquid. Alright, so that's gonna wrap up today's video. I hope you guys found it helpful. If you guys have any questions or concerns, you can leave a comment down in the comment section below, or you can email us at service@proluxcleaners.com and we'll get you taken care of. Again, just make sure you watch this video if you're having issues with the unit. I don't want to say, but mostly it's user error. You're just letting the tank overfill and liquid's getting sucked up into the suction motor, resulting in it not working. Or that sensor, I will put a picture of it in the video, gets moisture or humidity on it, and it's very sensitive and it trips the motor, and that's just a safety feature. But I'm Kyle, Prolux, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.